I think photojournalism is a reflection of life or of a community or of someone's own personal experiences. It does it without varnish, it does it truthfully, it is not posed, it's just as life is. Anyone that enters the Hall of Fame and looks at the exhibits, they'll see the type of photography that we consider to be important and distinctive. And you can look at the images that are there, and some are iconic images, and some are maybe quiet images that you've never seen before, but they're certainly very telling. The power of the still image is very, very strong. And there's plenty to be learned about today and in the past just by looking at images.
Well, photography itself has a really major social significance in that it democratized picture making. Daguerreotype portraits were not cheap, but they were also not expensive. They were vastly less expensive than painted miniatures, painted portraits. In the daguerreotype period, some of the greatest daguerreotypists were based in St. Louis. Thomas Easterly, Fitzgibbon, Enoch Long, and a handful of others are really major figures. Photography's always been fascinating to me because it's the quintessential modern medium. It's 160 years old, and yet it's in historical time that isn't really that long ago. And the truth is that the introduction of photography in 1839 really changed the world. It changed the way people thought about reality. It certainly changed the way they thought about pictures. And we're still living in that period, meaning we are surrounded by images made from lenses on some kind of light-sensitive surface. And I think to understand something about photography goes a long way to understanding our world and who we are.
My camera has been such a wonderful passport. It's given me access that I would have never had nerve to go forth to ask people, I want you to tell me my story. I could easier saying, could I take your picture? And so the camera opened the door to the lives of a lot of people, and just astounding stories come out that people will tell you. Agriculture is really my life, and telling the story of agriculture and doing it through words and pictures. So it's just so intertwined. Practically everything I've done in one way or another has been telling the agriculture story with pictures. And the documentary approach came out of agriculture, and it came out of the Depression and telling the story of farmers.
Missouri has such a rich history of journalism, and you have the Missouri School of Journalism, and you have Cliff Edom and Vi Edom, that pair who really brought photojournalism on the national, international stage even. And they were just a natural team. Cliff is probably most well known for being the father of the word or the term photojournalism. He coined that. They were here for many years, of course, at the School of Journalism. They developed the Missouri Photo Workshop. It's a workshop in the fall that goes around to a different Missouri community every year. It's been going for more than half a century.
My whole approach to the students was this: the work you do it's not student work. You're going to be judged on would this picture be able to get into be published in a paper. I mean, that's the test. And so I called the shots as I saw them. I mean, I really, in a sense, played newspaper picture editor. And you either cut it or you didn't. One of the first pictures I ever took was with a box camera, and propped it on a set of books and photographed myself in the mirror. And since I couldn't see what the camera was getting, I cut off half of the picture, but that was a start. That was Coon Rapids, Iowa. The story behind it, of course, is that Garst was this autocratic farmer who was growing hybrid corn. And he had been to Russia and actually got to see Khrushchev. And so when Khrushchev was planning to come to visit the United States, he asked the State Department that he would like to visit Coon Rapids and Garst. I knew that they were going to come around to look at the cattle. I climbed a telephone pole, which was right next to the wall. Well, wouldn't you know, I got up there too soon, and pretty soon I had it was like a row of birds sitting on the fence, all photographers. And of course, Khrushchev was late. So as time went by, these birds all dropped off one by one until I was sitting up there alone. And I thought to myself, look, go for broke. If this happens the way he said it was going to be, you're going to get a picture. As they come around, here all these photographers are climbing on the fence and trying to get a picture. And I can just shoot, and I got all of these photographers in the background with Khrushchev and cattle and Garst in the foreground. It made a fun picture. I'm very proud of myself for just sticking it out. But I think it's a case of anticipating where something is apt to happen and then taking a chance. If you don't get it, you don't get it. So I guess I was just lucky.